Welcome everyone to another edition of Def's Daily Dose of Dota. This is episode 28, and I don't always have time for Dota. Who am I kidding? I play it all the time. But today, we're going to look at a game from LV Gaming out of the recent D2L Season 5. He's going to be playing Terrorblade. He's going to be playing carry, and we're going to see a lot of illusions. And to start off the game, I always want to hop into Def Score, and I just want to show you guys one thing about Terrorblade. I have on here a list, and basically the list is sorted by the agility around level 16. And you'll notice some very familiar people. You'll say, oh, Dro Ranger's really high on agility, top of the list. Of course she is. Her ultimate gives her more. But Morphlane, of course, he can morph into agility. But look here. Level 8, or 8th slot, Terrorblade. He's going to be really high. 72 agility. Divide that by 7. You'll get about 10 armor. So, pretty high armor. He's going to be great to get into a fight. Go over to the wiki page. 3.2 armor gain, or agility gain per level. He's great at that. We'll get into the abilities in a moment. Let's hop into the draft, though. You see it up on the upper right. I'm going to make it bigger. And I always like to pause right before the last pick that comes out. And a lot of times people ask me in-game, hey, Deficus, go kill yourself. No. They ask me, Def, what should I pick? This is an unranked match, and maybe I want to win, so I'll give them some advice. I'll say, hey, well, do we have 2 supports? Maybe you have an Ancient Apparition and a Rubik. Do you have a mid-hero that can dish out some damage? Maybe that's an Ember Spirit. Do you have someone who can initiate in fights? Maybe that's a Batrider. Or perhaps a Puck? Well, if you've checked all those boxes, you already have your 2 supports. You have a mid, you have an initiator. How about go carry? And go carry really hard. We're going to click the play button and zoom into this game and see that LV Gaming picked the Terrorblade.
Prepare for battle.
Starting out this game is going to be Yang on the Terrorblade. I don't know why I said Inflame. I'm a moron. But that's okay. Yang's starting out this game. And by the way, we're going to blow up the mini-map before I forget. Because I don't know about you, but if I ever watch these VODs on my iPhone, I can't see shit. There we go. That's a lot better. Fantastic. LV Yang already having one of his camps blocked. Poor guy. You see his 2 supports in tow. They're ready to support their carry. He doesn't have a lot of HP, by the way. Only 470. I mean, hell, Rubik has more than that. So he's going to be very susceptible to magic burst. But as we talked about, when it comes to later fights, to the man fights, to the 1v1s, that 3.2 agility per level is going to definitely buoy his ability to get into fights. Later on, we'll see the illusions also be buoyed by really high armor and a lot of agility. The game's starting up here. Ohio, he's going to be on that Batrider, but Illidan Anti-Mage, who gives a shit? This game is about LV Yang.
'Tis my
As I have to change the title. Wonderful. That's updated now. The creep wave is coming in. Let's get that off of here. And what do you see to start out the game? 8 tangos, 2 iron branches, the stout shield, but I always want to look at the blocking. He's doing a great job blocking here. A little juking, juking, juke, juke, juke. Right in front, right in front. Great job. Fantastic, Yang. DDC is here as well to help him out. Make sure his carry gets as much farm as possible. Mag, get out. And we see Yang immediately going to last hits. He will pick up Refraction, but rank 1, it's only going to be 2 seconds. So after the 2.5 seconds, Yang just goes back to last hitting, gets a couple denies. And he gets into the grind here. This is the early phase of the game. This is the laning phase. This is all about last hitting. Illidan knows what that's about. He's up here last hitting with his mana break. But Yang is going to try and be competitive. He's pushing Mag back as well. We see his Ancient Apparition support saying, hey, I'll pull the lane for you. Split up the XP a little bit and make it so you're not farming up here where the wave is right now. After that backs off, we're going to see it down here in a much safer position. Yang won't have to worry about having the last hit so close to the tower. And with the 3 creeps, he immediately runs away, says, yep, come on, boys. Let's come back into my edge of the jungle. Picking up Metamorphosis, it's a really long cooldown. That has to be stated at the start. As a point of reference, it's longer than Sunder, your ultimate. Not too many heroes can say that they have an ability with a longer cooldown than their ultimate. Undying's Tombstone comes to mind. But not even using the Metamorphosis, even though he's level 3. He's just working on the last hitting. He's picked up a Poor Man's Shield, which I always love for agility heroes. Poor Man's Shield is good, but if you can get that extra 6 agility to turn into some right-clicking for you, it's beautiful. 65 damage. Boom. Another 44 gold going his way. Another 46. That's 100. Total is 600. He picks up a Boots of Speed. He's going to be a little more competitive. If there is a chase going on to this Juggernaut.
First blood.
Mag's having a hell of a time in the offlane.
First blood. In
First blood
flames.
from the other support in Flame, assisting your Ember Spirit. But Yang, he's tunnel visioning down here. He's actually not, by the way. When I watched this game, there were tons of pinging going on the map, and people were pinging things. I'm sure they were talking in Vent. Or whatever your choice of audio chat is. Whether you use the in-game, or whether you're one of those 4 stacks that comes into an unranked match and never talks to me. Sometimes it just makes me want to Blade Fury and run away. Mag knows what I'm talking about. 21 last hits. Yang, he's just staying right here in a very small screen area, if you'll notice, with the assistance of one of his supports pulling. But he is having the time of his life. Picking up a Quelling Blade from the side shop as well, by the way. He's going to be hitting for a lot more than 68, just to increase his farm a little bit. And he's now picking up the Conjure Image, but you'll notice it's 4 minutes in and he hasn't even used any of the abilities. He used Reflection twice, forcing Mag out of lane. But he's just after that money. Using a couple tangos. And not even pulling the lane all the way back to his tower. He would rather take a little extra damage, as we see him having to eat into another tango probably. But he doesn't want the lane to be pushed back prematurely. Especially with DDC doing this beautiful job into a triple pull. That's a triple pull. Yang's gonna love that. He's got 30 last hits and 13 denies. You'll notice that's about 100% or 1,000,000% more than Mag. Jug's not the best offlaner. Using another Reflection, he's gonna have to commit a Blade Fury. Perhaps soon. And when he does, that'll be about 70% of his total mana. Meanwhile, Yang, he's just getting bigger and bigger. There was another kill on top lane, but who cares? This is about Terrorblade. And in the laning phase, like many carry games, you'll notice it's there's not a lot going on. Just a lot of last hitting. But hey, he's got a 5-minute power tread, and that's quite a bit of damage. His 2 supports are here in tow. He popped Metamorphosis, and he secures the kill. Maybe if you're playing in an unranked game, or in the lower MMR brackets, or just queuing up against random people, you're not going to have your 2 supports coming in. But hey, you can suggest it. They might mute you and tell you to uninstall the game. I'm talking to you, random Russian guy that I played with today.
Is under attack.
Terrorblade, now level 6. Picked up Sunder. We'll see if he gets some of those off. But it's all going to be about the Metamorphosis into Conjuring Images so they can get just an absurd amount of DPS coming out. And of course they're going to be ranged as well.
Radiant's bottom
But
tower
the bonus
is under
damage,
attack.
in addition to the slightly lowered base attack time, that's about the equivalent of 25 attack speed. And at the 6-minute mark, You'll see he's keeping very competitive with Illidan Stormrage on the Anti-Mage. One of his best heroes, but then again, Anti-Mage is a premier hero for most Position 1 carries.
Bottom tower is under attack.
And at the 6-minute and 45-second mark, Yang has a swell of creeps. He has a Conjure Image, and he's hitting up on the tower. If you're wondering how much he's hitting for, it's not a lot. It's only 19 damage. The Illusion's doing 5 damage, but hey, that's okay. This DPS is permanent. You see that? Minus 0.1, meaning the tower's down to 30% and it's not going to regen. And Yang, as soon as his creeps are gone, walks away. You might be seeing a little bit of power treads toggling. Just trying to get the mana to regen a little quicker. I think it's a total of 25 mana if you switch your boots over the course of a minute. From 2.2, it would go back down to 1.6. 1.8 actually. Pretty good. And what else are you going to do? You're sitting here, you're a carry, you're getting fed, you're having the time of your life. This is practically free farm.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Now that the wave's here, you continue last hitting. We see him even switch over to agility, get a couple last hits, switch back over to power treads to just keep his HP topped off, keep him as high as HP as possible. There are some people missing on the map. And we see the first big item, in addition to the Ring of Basilisk, is going to be the Blade of Clarity. Agility, why not? I heard it's pretty good for carries. And at the 8-minute mark, we see a Metamorphosis committed and an instant Conjure Image after that. It's only on a 16-second cooldown, but they last 32 seconds. You can figure that out pretty quickly. That you'll have 2 or almost 3 of these guys doing ridiculous amounts of damage. The tower has fallen, and that's a recipe for a Yasha coming out already as well. You'll notice item slots are already full. He's pretty happy with what he has. He doesn't have to get this plus 10 agility out from the courier yet. Sure, it would give him about 7% damage reduction and another 10 DPS, or 10 damage. But he'll just wait. He'll have that Yasha pretty soon. If you can eyeball that as well as I can, that's about 100, 100, 100, about 400 gold. And now, the Yasha is coming out. That item he will definitely have with him. Wants that as soon as possible. A little faster speed, and a little harder hitting. A little more damage. A little more damage for the illusions. We're going to take a quick check. And by quick, I mean really slow. He's hitting for about 100, and his illusions are even hitting for 60. And now with Yasha, or did he forget Yasha? Nope. Got rid of the tangos. He's now running at 401 speed. And you'll notice just a little illusion thrown into lane here. There before the disruptor was here, but just to occupy the lane, get maybe a last hit or two, and he's just going to keep farming. We see him check the 10-minute rune and throw the illusion that he already conjured back into lane.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And if you're looking at the last hits, you'll notice he's still second in last hits, but he's doing a pretty good job. Net worth is very close with the help of that tier 1 bottom. The first tower to fall in the game. Yang, alone in a jungle as a Terrorblade. Pretty much an ideal situation here. Has his Yasha. 400 move speed means he can rotate to the mid lane to help out. Say, hey guys, I know I love farming, but let's do something mid. My Metamorphosis is up. 80 bonus damage for myself and the illusions. There we go with the Metamorphosis. And an instant Conjure Image. And we see the push a little premature. Instead, he chooses to farm up both that camp along with the Ancients. I like this move. It's ambitious. It's the 11-minute mark, but hey, if you have plus 80 damage, as you can see, hitting for almost 200 illusions as well, you can farm up a
Dire's top tower has fallen.
looking at the net worth, that was about another 200 gold going his way. 1,600 gold already in the bank. And with the exception of the Juggernaut kill, there really hasn't been going a lot.
Tower is under attack.
Not much going wrong for him. He's been able to farm unabated. Illidan having a pretty good time as well, but his supports are starting to do work. His mid starting to put pressure. And Terrorblade, the position one, says, bring it on. Me, I'm almost at 100 last hits at the 12-minute mark. You can do the math on that. It's about 8 per minute. And with 2,000 gold, he might be going for... Okay, Ultimate Orb. We'll just go ahead and click on that. But, if the Yasha didn't give it away, the Ultimate Orb should have. We're going to be seeing a Manta style soon. Because, I don't know if you know this, but Terrorblade has pretty good illusions. And much like Anti-Mage, where you have maybe an ability that buffs your illusions, you say, hey, Manta first item, guys? No problem. He's going to have that potentially in about 2 minutes. And Metamorphosis is soon off the cooldown. I'd also like to point out that he's in the jungle now, farming. So instead of him being in lane, Ancient Apparition gets to sit here. He gets to start working on his own last hits. 28 last hits by DDC. Pretty good. And he's getting some levels of zone. If we switch over to the hero level, you'll notice that this Ancient Apparition is level 8. VP Polar, support of a Nyx Assassin, and the Disruptor are only level 5 and 6. And the Midas coming out from Ancient Apparition, that's how much farm he's been able to get. We see more farming, more illusions, and what's that? That's a Manta style on the Courier. You'll notice that Metamorphosis is off of cooldown. Better push towards mid. The extra damage aside, which is pretty substantial, the fact that you can be a ranged hero, an agility range, when you want, when you need it, for things like pushing this tower, is great. It's the 14-minute mark. There's a lot of illusions, and even more on the Courier, and we are going to take a break. That's definitely what I would consider the end of the laning phase for this Terrorblade. It's about 14 minutes. Several towers have fallen. And they have Terrorblade to thank for that. With the use of the Metamorphosis and his illusions, illusion gaming, he's quickly racking up the gold. That's going to be a 15-minute Manta. And when we come back from this break, we're going to have the mid-game of this episode, 4D.